if you face a painful situation in your life with concentration, it's more painful than if you face it without concentration. Yeah? So, but having said that, that concentration also gives you an allowance, which is to penetrate the pain, you see, to really honor it, to seriously not try to get rid of it. It comes with that attribute that you can have the strength to be amid pain. And it has a good side. It flips very easy, so your attention can switch to something else very fast. Before you have, when you think about to get used to live with, in many times, it goes, most times. But only when you know that you're able to live with it. It will never go where you're fighting against it. It's not my decision. It's not. It's phenomena. It's the way consciousness works. You attract what you avoid. It's because in terms of energy, the energy doesn't understand. You understand the direction of where it comes from. It's just energy. And energy reinforces manifestation. So the good side is that it can flip also by itself. But generally, once you're ready to live with. And this is why life with a clear mind implies, yes, depth. It's not, you understand, it's not, it's true that you can find yourself beyond pain. Yes, it's true. But you can find yourself in pain too. And you realize that being without pain was not knowing that. The hope of being without pain, the hope of living without pain, was an aspect of not really knowing pain. Because pain, as you probably heard me saying before, it's another aspect of love. It becomes what becomes because of our reaction to it. We make it bigger and much more harmful to ourselves than it is. Because of conditioning, because we think it's no good. Yeah? You with me? Through pain, you can love the divine too, It's direct. You don't do it because you're too busy trying to avoid it, or trying to distract yourself from it, or not understanding maybe. And there are many other ways, For example, many people feel guilty about what they call daydreaming, yeah? You know what it is? Many people feel terrible about it. And we all train consciously to hide it if somebody looks at us. And we hide it in a way that we pretend we were not daydreaming. And because conditionally, we need to keep up an image. Yeah? You can't just relax. Then we are afraid of that image. So we hide it and we repress it. And they're the only true moments of meditation. They're the only true moments of prayer. Because in that moment, your mind is going free. and there is no contraction. You see, your body is breathing, all your fluids are circulating, all your organs are becoming happier. So we need the moment of daydream. You see, when you drive through the streets and you see somebody standing by the bus stop, daydreaming. Yes. And they're nurturing. It's a constant nurturing process we have as consciousness. You understand? It's like a service station where we stop by to load ourselves with emptiness, to break the flow of the rational approach. And there is some kind of pseudo-rational approach kind of at the background. It's a labeling process that doesn't harm anything, it's just the shadow of the mind. But the core of it is meditation. The core of it is, it's the valve, you see, that opens. You see, when you suffocate the spirit without any air, it can open a valve. Because you're not giving it a break, and it's not going to let you go ahead. So it comes out, you see, like pff, and you daydream, or you suffer with something that it used to be completely irrelevant for you, or you don't see a logic about why you're suffering. Through that, it's also you're bringing down all the defenses, you're bringing down all the attack systems, all your tactics, your strategies, your images, your war, all that. When you're suffering, you can't hold it together. And that's the benefit of it. From a spiritual point of view, you understand? Now from a human point of view, you don't want to suffer, basically. You don't. So then you have to investigate yourself and to see the reality of that suffering and who is suffering. You have to understand the whole process within you, which is what I try to share with you. What I'm sharing with you requires an actual action, you see, a factual action, you see, not tomorrow, yeah? By the way, what I speak here is not for when you go home. You're expected to act upon it here. If you don't do it, you're just missing it yourself, yeah? But I understand that you came here for that. Yeah? If you decide to leave it for later, well, later. But really here, you apply for. And you see that the observation requires discipline and strength. And surrendering. Because you won't find out what you want. The path of direct knowledge, direct approach, is the most difficult one. We can talk of subjects and quite lightly, but really each of them is a universe. And you need a very stable attitude for you to really integrate it in yourself. But as an answer, I can tell you that is not something to worry much about. I'm not worried about you. Although I feel to care for you, but I'm not worried about you because I know you're built for that. You understand?
Yes, I do.
Yes, that's good. Another. There is this little celebration with the beloved called me, and that place is sacred. And nobody can interfere. Nobody has anything to say or to do about it. So you do look into nowhere, relaxed. Because when you look nowhere, you're looking in the heart. You don't need to look at somewhere all the time. Your eyes are not made for that only. Your eyes are also made to lose themselves into nothing. So you can meditate. And you can be directly with your heart. And you need to be free, feel free to engage in that. You cannot be in an environment that if the door opens you have to stand up and pretend you're doing something. You just can't be. I've seen it a lot. Relax, lose it. It's not the most important thing in the world to be approved or to be loved. It's always an illusion. Even if you succeed, even if they love you so far as you stay within some parameters. So you manage to fool them, but you need to keep on fooling them. For the love to flow, that love. That's not love. That's playing chess. It's a different game. Love is completely much more sophisticated and profound and overtaking, powerful. There's a common ground in which we all lose our strength, and if unless you live that, you don't know when others are going through that. So you do take some time, you see. Right now, in a retreat, this is a situation, this is an ideal circumstance created for that purpose. For you to stop the whole thing, the whole train, and walk out free. Many times even our search for spirituality is part of the same begging bowl for love. So when you can enter that door in which it's not so important to be loved, because now you want to see the reality of it, you want to go deeper, just you're breaking through, you're seeing, you can see what you've been at. Then you can't stop, you have to keep going. You can keep going inside and see for yourself how much love with no reason you have. How much happy you can be, how much contentment for no reason arises. A whole different language develops. You see, you can dialogate with form. Form has its own humor and personality. It's not English. It's something else. So you have an intimate relationship with everything. You talk and you feel, you hear, not words, but you can get the essence of everything. And you celebrate it as a unique form of the same, a unique manifestation. And that language develops. You pass the phase of the artist, even, because the artist is within that within those two words. The artist is that translator between that language and the senses you can perceive through. But in meditation you pass that. Sometimes that passes because the language it has its moments, like tea has its moment. You can't have tea all day long. Well, you can, but you wouldn't enjoy it so much as when you have it. No, you wouldn't enjoy it so much as when you have the tea, if you had it all day. So, in that language, you see, you become in love more deep. You are less present in the world, more spaced out than you thought, yet present doing your duties. But your love and your heart is also dwelling in places that cannot be mentioned. So it becomes clear that there is no intention whatsoever to go back to the drama of me. Once you cross the borders, see, the drama of me was a bad joke. Was the dangerous play of two mirrors facing each other. You never know what can happen, and it can go on for a long time. So, because that fluctuates, you need the repetition. Because of the fluctuation, you need the repetition. Because in some of the repetition, there will be a better level of heart than in others. In most, there will be mind, thought, a lot of things in the prayer. And the prayer becomes deep when the mind stops and it's only in your heart. You know, prayer is another word for meditation. The difference is that meditation has not a direct subject, and prayer appears to have. The subject that we put to the prayer is just part of our mind, to entertain our mind. But in reality we are attempting meditation through the prayer, through the words, and through the desire or the gratitude, which is more or less common, mostly demands. No? We pray for asking more than thinking. When you pray for thinking, it's a lot easier. The heartbeat, you see, because you can't think unless you feel it. Well, of course you can, but not sustainedly. And if you feel it, then it's direct meditation. Meditation in this context, I'm expressing the end of separation, the moment in which you are at one with everything. Yes? That's the aim of prayer. And that's the aim of meditation.
I just ask, if I'm praying for someone else, somebody's ill or something, or I'm wondering about that if it's God's will whether that person will recover or not. So, in praying, what am I doing?
It might be God's will too. If you pray, it's also God's will.